Hello, everybody. How y'all doing today? My name. Uh, Hello, everybody. How y'all doing today? My name is Paul Terry, and I will be presenting my IPP over organized crime. So, the definition of organized crime is a term that is used in the social system while involving the social world, and the system is made up from relationships conclusive to professional criminals, politicians, law enforcers, and then some entrepreneurs. Organized crime can be singular or jointed. The most common form is jointed, as we see in today's era, and organized crime is considered any group whose main intentions are to make money through illegal activities. What we hear most of now is about the cartels and the drug smuggling and the human trafficking as a problem. So, some characteristics of organized crime I put down teamwork, division of labor, violence, and they thrive on supplying illegal goods and services. I say teamwork because organized crime groups generate a large sum of money through various activities uh, like drug smuggling, human trafficking, prostitution, and multiple things that they have to work together just so they can even make their money. Uh, also, I did division of labor. They use the pyramid power structure like a legal business, as the boss runs at the top, and it falls all the way down to the drug runners and drug smugglers and lookouts. So lookouts for law enforcement could be also a thing. And violence, when it comes to organized crimes, violence isn't necessarily always an option. But when it comes to gangs and cartels, they definitely use violence. But when it comes to a business type of uh, organized crime, then they really don't result to violence like that. It just affects their workers, the people they trust about, and their company. And this is mainly for cartels, and actually, it could be for both. So I put thrive on supplying illegal goods and services. I put that because when we hear about organized crime, that's exactly what we think. We think about the black market, fake supplies, using illegal drugs to get into the states and provide prostitution services or something like that. So illegal activities, some examples of illegal activities for organized crime. I put drug distribution and gambling, tax evasion, illegal selling of firearms, money laundering, human trafficking, and even bank robberies. The most common form we see on the news is drug distribution and tax evasion, money laundering. We've actually started getting more and more cases of human trafficking, and that is starting to become a big problem. So, some common strategies used by organized crime, I put extortion, bribery, embezzlement, and gang criminality. And the next few slides, we'll talk about these. So, for extortion, I put it consists of obtaining property from another through wrongful use of actual or threatened force, causing violence or fear. Another term for this could be blackmail. And in some cases, in extortion cases, the victim consents to give his or her property away unwillingly. So, an example I had for extortion is the cartel threatening a public official so that they can proceed to their illicit activities. Another form I used is bribery, and is the act of promising, giving, receiving, or agreeing to receive money or some other item of value with the corrupt aim of influence a public official in the discharge of his official duties. Organized gangs can use bribery to protect their illicit activities to avoid being caught by law enforcement. Businesses could also use bribery to bribe their employers to not talk about the activities so they can continue money laundering, tax evasion, or committing fraud. And for gangs, they use public officials. I know, like Pablo Escobar, for an example, used to bribe the Colombian president just so that he would stay out of the way and law enforcement wouldn't get in the way of their activities and their money making. Another form is embezzlement. Embezzlement cases occur when a person who is in a position of trust and uses his position to steal money for their own personal use. Most common embezzlement charges occur when an insider within a business company is fraudulently taking money for a personal interest. Embezzlement is considered a white collar crime and can lead to prison, fines, restitution, or resignation. Uh, an example for embezzlement would be a bank teller depositing or pocketing a deposit and taking the money for his own personal interest. Last I put was gang criminality. This is relevant because when we think about organized crime, we really think about the gangs. We really don't think about the business side too much. But the gangs, they are professional, but they are dangerous. Gangs operate on a large scale. For an example, I know the Mexican cartel has employed over 100,000 employees. So, yikes. And then they use violence to get what they need. And we don't we see violence here. We see like more mass shootings, but that's more of like a terrorism. I don't know if it's gang related, but in the other countries like Colombia or Mexico, um, violence is very real down there, and it is very gory, bloody, and they do not take things lightly if they feel like they're threatened, and they will show that they have power. And then last will result to violence without hesitation. That kind of goes what I said. They use violence to either threaten people or to get what they want. It could even be bribery with violence, but they do this without hesitation, and that's why people are so scared and nervous about organized crime. So, how can the U.S. slow down organized crime? I put criminals have made it difficult uh, for them to be stopped because they have started evolving their operations using technology to keep a low radar against law enforcement while also uh, employing lookouts and they communicate lookouts, everything. I mean, the world's evolving, technology's evolving, so I mean, they have the money to do it, so they're just using their resources to stay low key from law enforcement. The U.S. has a way to slow down organized crime, which is the FBI, Federal Bureaus of Investigations, which is dedicated to stopping organized crime groups who pose the greatest threat to economic and national security. The FBI also uses many other departments in law enforcement to help them out, like the SEC for businesses, DEA for drugs, just things like that. So it all comes together to stop the threats. And then the last main act that the U.S. kind of put in place was the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970, which stiffened punishment and opened up the death penalty to become an option for certain crimes. So to wrap this up, organized crime is a serious problem in the U.S. and we need a solution. In my opinion, I don't think there's a permanent solution to completely stop all illegal activities, but we can do some things to slow it down. There are many ways that criminal organizations and gangs get around law enforcement, even with the laws that are in place. So we could stiffen up some laws, add more, and get things done so that people will stop playing around and they will get punished. And not only is organized crime dangerous and violent, it affects everybody in the community and can be a public health issue. So for this, I put so an example would be traffic enforcement shifting the safety to revenue. So that means not only are they not relying on our safety anymore, they're more dedicated to making money from the cartels who are bribing them to do certain things that are not good for the community and are also not good for the public. Thanks for tuning in to my IPP of organized crime. Hope you all enjoyed it. Y'all have a nice day. Thank you.